Hello everyone, I hope we are doing well. Welcome again to another video. So as usual, today is weekend and Sunday. Market will be open in a few hours. We are going to be doing our weekly outlook to prepare for the week ahead. It's always very important to do your weekly outlook when the market is closed and preparing for the week ahead. This gives you enough time to look at the market, look at what happened previously without having any distraction, and have a goal for the week. And what I would advise is when you have these projections for the week, within the week or somewhere in the week, they can still change, right? So one thing is you have to be very flexible. Don't be so fixated on what you've done. You are not the one controlling the market, right? So that's it and done. We're just going to go ahead and start our analysis, right? As usual, I trade mostly gold, right? Gold and GPUSD times, right? So we are definitely going to start with the XY. I've already done some analysis here already on my DXY. You see that not that so clear, but I'm going to open a new chart for us to start from there. So the XY, for those who don't know, watching for the first time, the XY stands for the dollar index, right? So if you want to measure the strength of the dollar, you tend to use DXY, right? This gives you the overall strength of the dollar, how the dollar is performing, yeah, and so on, right? So we are just going to start. We start by looking from the daily time frame. I'm a day trader, right? I also want to know what happened on the daily time frame before I go to the 4 hours, the 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, take my entries. At times I'm on the 5 minutes, but I don't go below the 5 minutes. So having a higher time frame perspective kind of helped me. Then I now move down to the lower time frame, doing a top-down analysis. So looking at what happened last week to have a view of weekly market, we ended the week bearish. We see that we've ended the past 2 weeks bearish, right? So you can see from here we had this bearish candle, have another bearish candle, right? And we just broke out from a recent structure point. We could see this point we are seeing right here. We just broke out of this point and price is now retesting, right? So what you can see on the XY, currently what the chart is showing, if you can look overall, you will see that here the XY is kind of in a downtrend here. And the XY is kind of what in a downtrend. From what you can see from this side, so that here we move from an upward move, then started moving to the downside. This is on the weekly time frame, right? You don't need to go too backward to decide your overall direction, right? I can see from here that okay, the market was trending, moving to the downside clearly, right? Now if you look at what is happening currently, you don't need to go far again. As I said, keep it very simple. You can see that what happened now is that okay, price was moving in this direction, we face kind of like what a double top here, right? Price broke out of this level we have here. Now it is retesting. Now seeing this, I'm seeing that okay, the dollar is more bearish for the last 2 weeks, and the previous week I just closed, we closed bullish, right? Kind of seeing price retesting this structure point that we just broke out from, right? Retesting this point, right, which is my main concern right now. I will now go to my daily time frame. I've seen that the weekly time frame looking bearish, so going out to my daily time frame. On my daily time frame, I can now see it clearly. So on the daily time frame, if we are looking at structure, you see that we've been creating a series of lower lows. So you see price move here, created this low, created this, and now price is doing this again, right? This is price now retesting, waiting to see if price is going to break out of this zone. Then we can see price retesting all the way here. But if price respect this zone, I want to see price taking out this level here. Then I'll be expecting more continuation to the downside. As I said, the dollar is looking quite bearish apart from this retracement we are having here right now. So with seeing this, I will now go ahead and mark out my zone, because I take my trades based on the zones I'm looking out for, right? So to mark up my zone, I will start with looking at the recent zones that price just actually broke out from, or the recent zone that holding the market. So we start from here. This is my first main resistance point, and this was going to be my main support point. If I was looking at this structure point from here to here, I'll be looking at this point all the way to this point before price just broke out of this point here, right? You see a broke up, the price stay maintained and closed above that point. So having seen that, so I want to mark out another level. Very important zone I want to see is this point that we had a breakout here, a very good solid breakout. We didn't have any retest, any retracement back to that point. And then if I'm looking at my levels, the lows I'll be aiming for going to be this. That's the main low I'll be aiming for. and this one in between here. Good. Now, so these are the main points I'll be looking out for. Then you can have a level in between here again. So I'm looking at the levels. You try to mark out the levels where price has rejected like multiple times. You have a good rejection here, rejection, and price broke out, retest here again, right? So now move to my 4 hours. So on my 4 hours, I'm going to be having something like this, right? Something like this. So this is what I have on the 4 hours. You see that price broke out of this zone here, right? Price was going to retest, but now, so see what happened, bro. I can take this off for now. I don't need it for now, right? So what we had here is, this is how price played out of the zone. So you can see we had this breakout, price retest, price when it retest, respected this zone, right? Now we had a solid breakout. What we were expecting was price to break out, retest back this zone, and then continue pushing to the downside. But we can see price had a further push to the downside. Regardless of what happened, we are still looking downwards, right? We are still looking downward. Why? Because if you want to mark your most recent zone and your most recent highs and lows, you see that, okay, this is going to be what our most recent high, this is going to be low the market was forming, right? So you see that if this point is not taken, this lower high we have here is not taken, then we are still in a downtrend. So what I want to see is if price is going to break out of this zone and close above, right? Price should break out and close above, then I will see price heading all the way to this target here. This is where the zone I'll be expecting price to reach out to. If price is breaking up, because right now what I'm kind of seeing is that we are seeing a reversal pattern forming here, an inverted head and shoulder. We might see price doing something like this, right? So left shoulder, right shoulder is being formed right now, and then we might see price eventually pushing to the downside. So this is a reversal pattern we're kind of seeing on the dollar index. Now having this bias on the dollar index, seeing that, okay, I'm expecting a breakout to the upside for price to continue buying, then possible target will be that we can see price heading all the way there if price is able to break out based on what we are seeing here right now. So if we're having this bias on the dollar that we are seeing, the dollar possibly going to be bullish, and then we're expecting gold to continue dropping, right? So this was a top-down analysis. You can see that we're moving from a bearish scenario, and now price is now changing to a bullish scenario, depending on how price is going to react to this particular zone I have highlighted here. Depending on how price is going to react to this zone, so this zone is going to give us what an idea of what we are supposed to be doing, right? So we have to wait to see how price break on this zone. So right now, this is what we've done. I've taken my time to explain this. It's going to be long, but for you to understand how I analyze the market, right? So having had this bias on the dollar, now I'll do my analysis on gold. So looking at gold right now, we start as well from the weekly time frame, right? We start from the weekly time frame. So now if you look at gold from the weekly time frame, gold has been ranging for some time, right? Gold has been ranging all the way on this zone here. We've been seeing gold ranging for some time, right? And right now something interesting happened last week, right? We saw this weekly candle on gold trying to break above this zone we've been having here, right? Went all the way to I think that was 24.83, right? That is gold has created what a new all-time high, right? So if you notice clearly, you see that on the higher time frame, that is the weekly time frame, we've not had any closure above this zone, right? We've not had any closure above 24.16, right? That's a key resistance zone on gold. Right now you see that what we had here was kind of what liquidity that was just being swept above here, right? So what I'm expecting right now, I haven't seen this closure below the really candle closing below. What I'm expecting price to go down a bit further, right? The reason why you saw a nice on the XY that we're expecting the XY, maybe that would be a reversal, because now if you see gold, when gold came here, that was April 1st 2024, we had the rejection, came again in May, rejection. Now July we have potential rejection back to the downside. So there is a high probability that we might see gold swinging all the way back to 2288. Possible, right? Very possible that we might see gold, if gold should continue within this particular range here, right? We might see gold until we get a solid breakout and a closure above these zones, then we'll get a next level for gold, right? So that is a hoping. How many pips we're expecting movement all the way to here, looking at 1000 pips, right? Now that is our daily time frame perspective, right, in a range, right? And what we are seeing, potentially we are seeing what signs of gold printing reversing, right, to the downside. So we now move to our daily time frame, right? So looking at the daily time frame, what we see on the daily time frame is that okay, on the daily time frame, you see that we are having this closure above, right? This could be a trap, right? You see that, oh, gold has broken, it has closed above. But on the weekly time frame, that's why I need to have good analysis of a higher time frame, right? So we can see price close, try to go above. We didn't have any breakout, we test for price to continue. Price still what fall below inside, right? So that's why I said we have potential of seeing price heading all the way to this point here, right? So having had this analysis on the daily time frame, what we have to do now is just go ahead and mark out our key zones which we're expecting for a reaction on gold, right? So looking at this first, I want to see where price has rejected multiple times, right? So this is my first point. We had what, why am I marking all this point? Because if I see that, if I show you, you see that price rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. So we've had sales of rejection there. That could be a good point to look at for, right? Then our next point could be looking at this point as well, where we had multiple rejections, right? So you see that price rejection, 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 rejection again, right? So that could be a good level to look at for our next level. Having had this, I need to see price doing what, breaking out here. If I want to see this movement to the downside, and then potentially heading to 2360, which is my next target on goal. 2360 is the next target should price break all the way to this zone for this week, right? We might still see price potentially failing all this move to the downside, very possible, right? So now we move to our 4-hour time frame. So we'll move to a 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, what do we see on gold, right? On the 4-hour time frame, nothing to stress about, right? We see that on the 4-hour time frame, price is now rejecting on this zone, which will mark out 2392, right? For price approach 2392, 2393, which is zone which we just spoke about recently. So since it's a zone, not a price point, you just go to mark out, okay, this is a zone we are looking out for, and this is where we had that breakout, right? So again, we might be seeing what head and shoulder from here. So price might be doing this, what we just saw on gold, then we see price, what we saw on the X1, then we're going to see price dumping, right? Again, what we am seeing is this, good, right? So now we are having this rejection, to the upside, so what I'm expecting right now on gold is pretty, as the week opens, there is a potential for price to move up and fill this gap. So if we are using our Fibonacci, we will see that, okay, from here to here we are going to be having, we are expecting price to fill maybe, let's say, 50%. So price can pull all the way to the 50% Fibonacci zone, then we now have this drop to the downside, right? That's what I'm expecting on gold for this week, seeing price move all the way here and then price drop into the downside, right? But there is a potential, there is a possibility that price might open. If there's so much volume, we might just see price what dropping all the way to the downside without even having to feel the imbalances we have at the top there, right? So let's see how the week goes. But this is my analysis for gold and what I'm expecting now for this gold. Again, as I said, I want to see price reacting off the zones before I take my entries, right? So if you are not in the Telegram channel, feel free to use a link in the bio to join. That is where I'll be updating with signals when I'm going in or when I'm exiting. But this is what I'm looking out for gold this particular week. This is my overall target here. If price is going down, I'll be aiming at 22.93, right?